So the feeds are down, nominations are incoming, and woke Frenchie is about to suffer the consequences of all his woke gameplay. Again, if you remember during his HOH, he was swearing up and down, I'm not nominating no females. I want a woman to win. I'm going to sacrifice my game for a female that's not my wife or the mother of my three kids. I'm going to sacrifice my game and make sure a woman wins. I mean, he even went uh, so far as to make a female alliance with him involved in it. And he's not homosexual. Derek F., on the other hand, he could get away with that, but Frenchie, a heterosexual white male that's married with kids, he can't get away with that. Also, he talked about how, he wasn't putting up any POCs, as they like to say, because, Frenchie, if you look up his information on the CBS website, he's a proud member of the NAACP. Yes, he resides in Clarksville, Tennessee, and I'm sure every week he brings up, you know, black boys and black girls from Memphis, one of the most dangerous cities in the United States. But I'm sure he brings them up and, teaches them farm life and how to work the land. Of course, I'm being sarcastic when I say this because I spit in the face of people like this. These white libtards are the worst. They truly are. So I'm glad that it looks like Kylan is going to nominate him with Brittany as the pawn. Now, he had a lot of quick one-on-ones with people, but the most notable one-on-one was the last conversation he had, which was Tiffany. And Frenchie, outside of all his other alliances, he's made close bonds and alliances with the parents of the house. And Tiffany most definitely was there to push her agenda. Other people sort of tiptoed around it when they were in conversations with Kylan. He did get some information from Christian. He also got some pertinent information from Hannah, who disclosed the Frenchy Girl Alliance, and even stated the name, which was French Kisses. Hysterical. This man think he's Keith from Big Brother 13. But anyway, so those were the two people who really gave him information. Other people, he either already had a bond with them, or they were kind of being hesitant and not really disclosing much. But Kelly, she was pretty forceful with the agenda she was pushing, and the agenda she was pushing was this narrative about the three-headed monster, and who she listed as the three-headed monsters were Frenchie, Whitney, and Brent. She even put the blame for the two votes on Brittany. I'm not Brittany. Damn, I was confusing. I was about to say Brent and Whitney, and I just merged their names together and called it Brittany. All right, let me start over. The three-headed beast she listed was Frenchie, Brent, and Whitney, and she blamed the two rogue votes on Brent and Whitney, even though you and I know it was Tiffany and Derek F. that were the two rogue votes. So I'm wondering if Kylan will, get at least a little light bulb about her putting those votes on them two, when several other people pretty much vouched for Brent and Whitney, declaring that they weren't those two votes. So it's going to be interesting if we take heed to that. Probably not, because I think he's primarily distracted by who he's going to nominate. And if Frenchie wins the POV, and based on Tiffany's suggestion, quite possibly we'll be seeing a push for a replacement with Brittany. I mean, I'm doing it again, with Whitney or Brent. But I believe Kylan has something with them. I mean, these people have something with everybody. But it will be interesting to see if Frenchie wins that veto. I mean, I know people want him out of the house, and I want him out of the house just so he can suffer the consequences for his wokeness. And then I'm sure his family that he talked about, who were Trump supporters that he argues with, I'm sure when he gets back home and found out that all of his, POC and female allies wanted him out of the house, and then when he finds out all of woke BB Twitter hate him. I mean, I even saw him at the bottom of the polls because Big Brother Daily, Big Brother Updates on Twitter, does their daily polls, and he was like the least liked. So him seeing woke BB Twitter don't like him, and the POCs, as he called them, and the females in the house didn't like him. Though they don't like him for gameplay reasons. The people in woke BB Twitter land don't like him for personal reasons. And I'm sure when he gets back to the farmland, if he doesn't win this veto and Kylan does go through with nominating him, I'm sure his Trump supporting family members are just going to laugh his ass out. He'll be like, see, they're going to hate you no matter what, Frenchie, because you're a white hetero male. Uh, so even though I would love to enjoy all of that and imagine that happening to him when he goes back to Clarksville, Tennessee on his farmland, I personally still want him in the house because he's chaotic. And it will create an interesting situation if he wins veto and then Kylan has to make a replacement. And we know, based on conversations from the feeds, Tiffany is pushing for Brent or Whitney to go. And I believe she prefers Brent because number one, he's a guy, and some of these females are trying to get the guys out. And number two, he is the more capable one. Like, Frenchie has been fully exposed, where Brent is still playing a pretty decent game. He just needs to win an HOH soon and get people out of the house who's targeting him, because he's most definitely being targeted by, a couple of significant female players like Tiffany and Claire. So, the feeds are down. I hope you listen to this entire audio of this video to hold you over until the feeds come back. But it will be interesting to see the dialogue that occurs once the feeds return and the nominations have been made by Kylan. And there's the feed music right there. Anyway, good day.